Hello everyone and welcome to TestingToys.com. This is the C5, this is the CP5, and we're going to be taking a look at the Cammus C5 bundle that Cammus themselves sent over for us to take a look at. The C5 is a direct drive wheel. This means it doesn't use belts or cogs like what the Logitech G923 used, but instead uses a single motor. Direct drive wheels are usually much quieter and more powerful than their belt counterparts, and the C5 for its size is very powerful, coming in at 5 Nm of torque. This is more than double than the Logitech G923, and it's able to do this by housing its direct drive wheelbase inside of the wheel. This means that there's less of a distance for the motor to work, and therefore it's actually much lighter. The wheel itself is made out of a faux leather with an aluminum frame. There are 20 mappable buttons, 3 dials each with 12 steps, and there are 2 paddle shifters. Now the paddles are made out of plastic, which is a bit of a drop in quality compared to the rest of the wheel, and there has been some reports of those paddles snapping off after a couple months of use. The wheel also has 10 RPM LED lights and a 3-digit LCD display, but these really only work with a selected number of games which aren't actually listed and are different from their compatibility list. This is a PC-only wheel. You're not going to be able to plug it into your consoles, as you will need software and drivers for this to work. Now the software does work, but it isn't the most polished or user-friendly experience. That being said, there is a lot of adjustability and settings to cater for what you like. Moving on to the rest of the bundle, the pedals. The Cammus CP5s are a brake and accelerator. You don't have a clutch. It is a full steel build, and the app allows for changing the linearity and minimum maximum values. The box has everything you need to get started, including all your cables and mounting brackets for a desk setup, but if you do have a rig, then you might want to take a look at what parts you need to make the mounts work with your rig. Once you're mounted, your next biggie is now setting up. Because it's not a mainstream wheel, you will have to go through a lot of custom binding for each one of your games separately to get you started. This was annoying for us. We spent about an hour on each game making sure everything's perfect. But once you're up and running, you can save all your presets actually in the app, and then you're good to go. Once you do get it going, it's a pretty cool experience. The wheel is strong with its force feedback and is comfortable to handle once you get used to the angle of the motor. The multitude of buttons is very handy in mapping pretty much whatever you want. For the most part, the build quality of the wheel is pretty good, and the pedals feel pretty sturdy as well. I do always have to consider the delicacy of the pedals. The last thing I really want to do is to have them snap off and then they be unrepairable. And I do wish that the dashboard would be compatible with more games. I think this is a fantastic wheel. While its compatibility is lacking a little bit, once you get it set up, this is probably one of the best wheels for its price point.
So I thought the Cammus racing wheel was actually pretty good, but there were a couple flaws and these flaws are kind of like my main reasons why this probably wouldn't be my first option, because I'm normally a arcadey type of, racing person, and that's like Forza Horizon 5, and it kind of made it hard to play. And starting off, as like someone totally new to racing sims anyway, it was kind of hard to navigate the app and map all the buttons. That took us a pretty good chunk of time to do that, which is probably why this wouldn't be my first option. But how it was really realistic on the road, you can feel the bumps, you can feel the grooves, basically all that type of stuff. And also there was a lot more force being put into the wheel to make it move, which I think was really good and gave the experience a lot more realism.
My experience with the Cammus driving rig was actually really good, because it was really realistic, because it has the vibrations. So if you're on the road, it's smooth, but then when you're off-road, it's really bumpy and hard to control.
For its core price at $329 USD, I'd say this is very good value for money, but do check your shipping costs as they would vary. Thanks again to Cammus for sending us this bundle. If you're looking to get one of these setups for yourself, using the link in our description will get you 5% off. Thank you everyone for watching this video on TestingToys.com. If you liked it, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.